Hello, my name is Azard Gumbs, the Assistant General Secretary of the People's Action Movement.
And I'm Tawanna Wigley, the Acting Chair of the National Young Pamites.
Thank you for joining us as we continue our Facebook Live series, Keeping the Promise. Tawanna, we have a very special guest in studio today.
All of our guests are special, by the way.
Yes, but we have the Honorable Jonel Powell, the Chairman of the People's Action Movement. Tawanna, what are your thoughts as we approach this segment?
Well, I'm happy to hear from the Honorable Jonel Powell because, I am a constituent in his constituency and I want to hear all of his plans. I want to hear what he has in store for us. So I'm very excited about that.
I want to hear how he has transitioned from a candidate, a successful candidate, and now a minister. I'm sure that the responsibilities are different now, or the expectations are different, and how he has fit into the role. And so I look forward to that. And I look forward to persons coming together, supporting the People's Action Movement because of our many accomplishments. So as we prepare to welcome our candidate for constituency number 2, the Honorable Jonel Powell, I ask you to stay tuned as we get back to you. And we're back with the Honorable Jonel Powell, Parliament Representative for constituency number 2, candidate for the People's Action Movement. Jonel, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling blessed and happy to be here.
Good.
Well,
awesome.
Happy to have you. I'm wondering about your family. They're one of the founding, fathers for the People's Action Movement. How do you feel as a candidate, as a member in Parliament? Do you feel any pressure to perform, given the background and the history of your family?
Not necessarily. I mean, my uncle, Billy Herbert, would have been the founder of the People's Action Movement. I think he established his own legacy, and I am doing the same. I'm establishing my own legacy. Although he had done so much for the party and for the country, he didn't win a seat. I won my seat. And so you see where I recognize I'm very proud of my family history and its contribution, but I have my own path to go on and my own contribution to make.
That's okay. So, Jonel, what were some of what pushed you into politics? I mean, we could guess that is perhaps your family, but what really pushed you into politics?
Because of the family, I was exposed to politics. I saw politics around me for my entire life. And so I guess I developed a natural inclination for politics, not necessarily from a candidate standpoint, but behind the scenes. And so I sat on the national executive for PAM at the age of 18 as the chairperson for Central Basseterre. And it just sort of snowballed in terms of elected politics. We came to a point where we needed to select a candidate for Central Basseterre, and I was very protective and critical of who are we going to put there. And I thought, rather than standing on the sidelines and criticizing, get up and do it yourself. Get up and do what you think needs to be done, and the rest is history.
So, Jonel, you won in 2020, but you have been running, or you ran in 2015. Unsuccessful in 2015. What pushed you to continue?
Well, success is relative. I didn't win the seat, but my predecessor lost by 500 votes, thereabout. I was able to narrow that gap and lost by 98. And so that showed me that the people of Central Basseterre wanted a change. It showed me that they believed in me and what I was offering. And so it really motivated me to continue to work to continue to be there and represent them, be it not in Parliament, but to represent them nonetheless, and to do the work that was needed to actually win the seat. And we did so, you know, in good style by 235 votes. And so if you look at the gap that was narrowed in that 5-year span, you're talking about, you know, just under 800 votes, which is tremendous.
You know, as the newest member in Parliament from 2020, in the middle of a pandemic, how has that been for you?
It's challenging. It's challenging. I relish the opportunity to represent the people of Central Basseterre in Parliament as their representative. Nothing to do with the ministry and my ministerial portfolio. But it's challenging in that the pandemic has really just put a halt on so many different things, so many social programs, even the ability to fund some of the ideas and thoughts that would have been expressed by myself and colleagues during the elections. And so I think for me the most difficult thing is managing persons' expectations, because the reality is people have it hard out there. But their expectations are the same as pre-pandemic, when the resources are not necessarily there right now. And you know, you hear people talking and they forget I've only been in there like a year and a half. Like, I've not been in there for 2 years. But I understand the pressures, I understand the hardships that people have, and at the end of the day, people are resilient, they're beautiful people. I think they get it. They get it. They want better, and I want better for them. And it's just about us working together to ensure that we do better and get better for the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, and Central Basseterre in particular.
You became a minister in 2020. You've been around politics for some time. Has your perception as a minister changed as it relates to how ministers are to perform? I mean, before you were a minister, you had certain perceptions as how a representative should act, the responsibilities of a representative. Now you are in that position. Has your perception of an MP changed in any way?
Well, MP is separate to minister.
Yes.
My perceptions of how an MP should act have not changed.
Yes.
An MP is a representative of the people. You should be there for your people, you should represent them, whether you're a minister or not a minister. And so my perception of that role has not changed. My perception of the role of a minister has changed, in that I have a better understanding of our government, how it operates, the challenges, the way you have to maneuver and do things and get through the red tape and the bureaucracy to be able to do things for people in general, while at the same time acting on behalf of the entire nation. So they're actually two very different roles, and I think sometimes we don't appreciate or we forget that when we elect somebody to a winning team in an election, you're actually giving them two jobs.
Yes. To
be a representative to the people in their constituency, but also to be a minister of government. And so there are a lot of expectations. It's challenging, but I like it. I think I am doing a good job so far. There's a lot more that I want to do, will do, and God permitting, once I have life and breath for the remainder of the term, I think I will keep that promise.
At this point in time, we have a question from one of your constituents. So let's go into that segment.
As the representative to bring back Central Basseterre to PAM fold, what are your plans to further solidify the history of the party in your constituency?
Tawanna, that was such a beautiful question, wasn't it?
Yeah, we want to know, what are the plans for Central Basseterre?
The plan is to keep the promise. Keep the promise to make Central Basseterre a better place for the people and residents of Central Basseterre to live, and to give them opportunities. The pandemic has really dampened the plans and made it a bit more difficult, but we continue to persevere and to strive. And so the plan, for example, to put a boardwalk down on the Irish Town Bay Road is still very much in the forefront of my mind. I've actually been able to have discussions, technical discussions, with persons to be able to see some visuals of what can go there. And it's going to be amazing. It's going to open up Central Basseterre and the Irish Town area in particular to just a plethora of residential opportunities, commercial opportunities, and to really uplift the aesthetic of that area. That ties in with the general plan that I have for the redevelopment of Central Basseterre. We have so many abandoned properties, derelict buildings that are a health hazard, they look bad, and they're taking up much needed space for residential and commercial opportunities for the people. Central Basseterre is the tiniest constituency on both islands by far. I always encourage people to look at the map of the constituencies. You won't believe it. And so we don't have natural space to expand, to build houses. And so I think if we can redevelop these abandoned areas, these derelict areas, we create these opportunities for people for housing, but at the same time, raising and elevating the standard and the quality of life that the people in Central Basseterre have.
Yeah, good. We realize that convention is coming up. It's Convention 2022. It's all about keeping the promise. What are your feelings? What are your feelings? What is your thought on convention?
I'm excited. As the chairman of the party, I'm tremendously excited. We had a bumper convention last year, the biggest one ever. We did it a little differently by taking it outside of PAM headquarters and going to Hub City, Sandy Point. And so this year we're in St. Mary's Park in Keon, and I expect it to be even bigger. It's an opportunity for us as a party to reaffirm our commitment to the people of St. Kitts and Nevis, reaffirm our commitment to our partners in Team Unity, to keep the promises that we made to both of them, to our partners in Team Unity and the people, to deliver a government of national unity that is in the best interest of all persons on both islands.
Excellent. It was a pleasure speaking with you. I don't know if Tawanna has any more questions.
No, I have no more questions. You have reaffirmed your love for the people with me, cemented here.
Well, it's been a pleasure being here with you. Thank you for having me. And I am now back into the constituency to do some more work.
Okay, awesome. Tawanna, we had such a wonderful discussion with candidate for number 2.
Yeah, I really feel the love, the energy. He seems to be ready for convention. Keeping the promise, it seems to be driving him, and he's ready, definitely.
Yeah, I too am excited about the convention. I'm excited to see how the people are going to be, the atmosphere. I'm excited about a sea of gold, Tawanna, just across the field. And so I encourage everyone to come out to our convention. It's going to be at St. Mary's Park in Keyon, constituency number 8. So I welcome everybody to come join us as we have another candidate from the People's Action Movement and another episode of our Facebook Live series, Keeping the Promise, Road to Convention 2022.